Meteorologist Matthew East here with you. This is the Wednesday, March 30th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. A lot to talk about. A couple of different storm systems impacting our region over the next 36 hours. And another system coming up early next week that looks pretty potent. Between that, we kind of sandwich in a pretty good weekend. Let me get right into it here. Here's the radar imagery from early this morning. This is the GSP NexRad data from 5:14 a.m. and this is some showers with embedded thunder and lightning from northeast Georgia into parts of the upstate of South Carolina and spreading into the southern Piedmont. There's the Raleigh NexRad site, some showers through parts of northern North Carolina north of I-40. That's just kind of the leading edge of this activity developing on in. That's the broader view across the region, and we'll expand out even further. And what you're looking at here is showers. Really, it's areas of rain with embedded thunderstorms through here, and that'll kind of be what happens here across our region at times today. Occasional rain, maybe a few embedded flashes of lightning and thunder. Then the severe weather's been down right around this region primarily. Let's look at the storm reports from yesterday and last night. At Square, you see there, that is a 100-mile-per-hour wind gust that occurred in Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana. Also a tornado report a little bit west of New Orleans. Pretty active severe weather, and still even at this early morning hour, a severe thunderstorm warning. It's a little east of Baton Rouge, a couple tornado watches there along the Gulf Coast. Now there's your temperature map, that warmer air feeding the severe weather threat, but really temperatures across much of the Piedmont are not going to move today. We'll kind of see temps hovering in the 40s in most spots, maybe clipping up into the low 50s and hovering there in some areas. So severe weather not a problem across North Carolina and much of South Carolina. You get to extreme southern South Carolina, then down into southern Alabama, Georgia, and much of Florida. That's where the severe weather threat really concentrated today. There's our upper air chart here, valid this afternoon. And again, we're still talking about this parade of disturbances embedded within this flow. And each one of those disturbances has to be kind of watched and timed out and see how it's going to behave. And then eventually, look at what the European does, middle part of next week. This is Wednesday evening. It still is cutting off this massive 500 millibar low that pivots through the southeast, but it does not have a lot of support from most of the other modeling with that extreme scenario. I'll get into that in a second. Let's talk about today. This is what the GFS looks like. As we have the precip. This is the precip on the GFS from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then there's the precip from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Kind of a broad surface low that's spreading some areas of rain through the region as we go through today. And then tomorrow there's some uncertainty with exactly how far west the next low pressure tracks. This is how we look at 2 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow on the GFS. And there we are at 8 p.m. It brings that low and strengthens it a pretty good bit right into eastern North Carolina. So that'd be a thunderstorm threat for the coast and more showers at times for the Piedmont. Let's look at the Canadian, see how it differs there. And this is today's rain on the Canadian. And then here we are, 8 a.m. tomorrow, that low pulling away. And there's the rain during the day tomorrow. So not as extensive on the Canadian. What about the European? Here we are, the rain this morning and early afternoon. This is this afternoon into early evening. And then we transition to the next low pressure area that is close enough on the European to bring another wave of showers through the Piedmont during the day on Thursday. So I've kind of left the forecast essentially the same from yesterday. Some rain at times today, some showers at times for Thursday. But really tomorrow's rain chance depends entirely on how far west that little area of low pressure winds up tracking. All right, let's go out to Friday. I've gone with a partly sunny sky and milder temperatures, upper 50s and low 60s, and we'll keep that gradual drying trend in place into the weekend. Now notice pretty strong northwest flow here on Saturday. Pretty good cold air advection, but the downsloping will try to counteract that during today's Saturday. So we might see a lot of low 60s for highs Saturday, lows well down into the 30s coming up on Sunday morning, and then we probably rebound up into the 60s for highs Sunday afternoon. Then the stage is set for the next system. Here's what we look like on the GFS Monday evening. Apparent low pressure in Ohio. A lot of warm air advection ahead of that. So Monday's high is probably pumping well into the 70s. across most of the region. And then we get on the GFS, the showers and storms gradually spreading in Monday night and through the day on Tuesday. Now, let me show you that extreme scenario that the European had. This is Tuesday morning, so it's slower with this. And that makes sense, obviously, since it cuts off that big 500 millibar low. And then here we are all the way out to Wednesday evening, and it still has the next low pressure area developing right over the western parts of Virginia and North Carolina, and it has a lot of rain around here Wednesday, whereas the GFS is dry Wednesday with the front having moved through late Tuesday. So some timing and strength differences with the system next week, but it does look like a pretty strong system will roll through anywhere from Monday night through Tuesday, and if you believe the European, into Wednesday. But I have trended more in the direction of the timing of the GFS for next week. So let's talk about an active storm track, and we could use this rain still. The drought conditions do persist, so we will take every drop of this rain we can get. Now, in some areas, it might wind up being too much in some spots, and we'll kind of see how that unfolds. But again, overall, we could still use the rain. All right, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great Wednesday, and God bless.